Hello, Goddess, and welcome to this week's Super Sign Sunday Divine Feminine energy reading for today. This bi-weekly energy reading and empowerment message, our check-in that we do, see where we are, what's going on, the space and place in our journeys. Our twin flame journeys, more importantly, and really at the core of that, our self-love empowerment journeys, right? I'm joining you today, and obviously a bit of at least we're starting out a little chill. We can get a little rambunctious throughout sometimes, I think, because all the crazy messages that like to come through, right? Verifying and affirming what we know for ourselves, so we can be stepping into our power more and more and more, and being that empowered goddess that you've come here to be. For those who may be new to my channel, my name is Rochelle Richard, and I am the founder, CEO, and self-love empowerment coach here at Empowerment Experiences, and that, of course, means twin flame empowerment coach as well. However, again, around here, we recognize that journey, the journey, period, whatever label comes before it, your journey is your journey of you coming back home to you, of you rediscovering you. And that means stepping out of the comfort zone and letting yourself experience new things, no matter how overwhelming or daunting or unnerving they may feel at first. It's just because they're new. I share that in this time because I am expanding, up-leveling into a Windows 10 computer. My Windows 7 has been so good to me. So good to me for so many years, like a lot of years. 9 years, 10 years, a lot of years. But at some point, we have to step from the old into the new. It's like I'm seeing more like a lizard, a gecko. I'm not a fan of snakes. I'm really not. I think geckos are really cute. Snakes, I just haven't quite gotten into, oh, you're so adorable. I mean, I respect them. I truly do. Appreciate them in their own right. However, I definitely am more akin to that's the visualization seeing there of the lizard or the gecko instead shedding its outer skin because it's outgrown it. And it's uncomfortable, right? It's itchy. It doesn't feel very good. But it's what has to happen at some point, or you stunt your growth. And even if you gotta do it kicking and screaming, which I'm telling you, sister, some moments with this. That's why I have still both of my computers, still both. I call them Big Daddy and Junior. And Big Daddy, he's still going, but I could tell, right? You just know when it's time. And so Junior, he's been here for I think 4 weeks now, and I haven't even connected him to my Wi-Fi yet because they do things on their own. And anyway, I digress, right? So it's not about going into all of the reasons why I am, what I am going through and growing through over here with my computer expansion journey here. It's the reference of recognizing that this is that growth journey, goddess. This is what we're here for. And they're not called growing pains for nothing. It hurts because you are breaking out of the barriers, the restrictions, the limitations, the space that can no longer hold you. This is where you are, Divine Feminine. This is where you are. And that's why it may seem like shit's popping off, as we would say, right? It's because all of these heftier things that, right, we put off, we ignored the signs and we didn't want to deal with. Well, now it's time. And it's learning to begin to allow for the universe to support you through this by you leaning into it and recognizing that this is the only way. Like we've been talking about the elephants in the room. It's the only way to get through, to break down and break through to the other side. You got to break down that outer layer of skin and break out of it, break through into the new you. So yeah, it's just like, that's, yeah, the vision I have. It's like a little lizard or a gecko. Let me see if I actually have, do we have animal messenger? Do I have lizard? I don't think I do. I do not. That's interesting. I don't have gecko either. I'm going to post, I'm going to create one of these little squares, do my little research and such, and I'm actually going to look, post for us on the community tab. I'm remembering to do this more. Go over to the community tab on my YouTube channel here at Empowerment Experiences. 1, make sure you've subscribed. And number 2, then go over to the community tab and you can scroll down and you can see various angel numbers, animal messengers, and other posts obviously directly related to what's happening over here at Empowerment Experiences and Healing Twin Flames with Empowerment Experiences here on YouTube in this corner. So with that, go check that out. And I'm curious to see, because right now I feel like to not just look it up like I would usually do. I feel like I want that surprise, right? There's supposed to be this, whew, I just had like shivers in my like solar plexus and heart chakra right there. Just this whole surprise. The universe wants to surprise and delight you and have you going, wow, oh my goodness, that really just happened. Oh my goodness. Like we love that shit, don't we? We love that shit. So, whew, ooh, like it's got me shivering, like it's like a chill, but it was only there. It's got my teeth chattering. Oh my God. So with that, oh my goodness, come with me into the forest for more than the trees. Let's discover and embrace all this intuition sees. Together we shall come to know that which we need to reclaim our goddess power on this divine journey indeed. Surprise and delight, like the wonderment of a child, right? Remember, you do remember, goddess. I know there are moments that you can recall when you were excited for what was coming. You didn't know. You didn't know what it was going to be like. You didn't know exactly what it was going to look like, but you knew it was going to be fucking amazing. And you were excited. That's this new life. That's what this shedding of this old self is bringing. It is. Specifically, this new life, this new, more liberated you. Oh, just chills. Just chills. This new life. That's what these growing pains are bringing you. So keep showing up. Keep showing up. As I record this, I'm led to record this a week before. This is actually the Sunday before the Saturday it's coming published. And I just was so called to do this. And I literally, my morning was presented with, of course, some of my own, the icky, right? The growing pains I'm going and growing through. And then we got to do the work around that and shift our energy and practice the pivot, right? Because I'm doing my work. And then in that shifting, I opened myself up to greater receptive of the beauty, the love out there. And I checked my email, and I had the most beautiful reply to this last week's it would be, because this is again being published. You're hearing this the following Saturday after the next newsletter, but yesterday's newsletter for this last week, well, you know what I just said. I'm not doing it again. The most beautiful message from a goddess who's been on my list, been in my community, in my world for a couple years, and I truly adore her. I truly adore all my goddesses in my world. But this email was exactly what I needed to read in that moment. Exactly. To keep showing up. You're so needed. You're so needed. And I want that message to be for you too, Goddess. That's why I am led to share this. Is that during this time of intense growing pains, where it literally feels like the whole damn world has gone bipolar, psychotic, and you are questioning your own sanity one moment to the next. It's all good. Okay? Keep showing up. You are just fine. Everything is okay, and everything is working out. I feel as though this message is for that inner child in you, right? To be allowed to show up right now and greet this new life with wonderment and awe. Knowing that your presence is needed here, and all you have to do is keep showing up as you. Be sure that you just keep bringing yourself back into balance. Grounding, meditation. You find your greatest strength and energy and receptive mode truly when you're in this state of balance. When you can allow yourself to be vulnerable to allowing the universe to surprise and delight you, knowing that you are sure in your stability of being able to recognize and acknowledge for yourself all that you have endured, and that this next, because you've done this before, you've done this shedding throughout your life countless times, Goddess, countless times. So in integrating that inner child all the more, it's acknowledging for her that, come on, baby girl, it is safe. Let's open our arms wide to this new life, this new space that's right here before us. As we're shedding these old beliefs and narratives and energies within ourselves that we've held on for far too long, it's time to come together and let them go. And that's what's going to create this even greater balance for whatever may come. But the simple fact that you would align yourself with wonderment and awe, how could you then not receive wonderment and awe? Especially when you're balanced, when you're relaxing, right? And so I'm thinking about that cup of tea, and I think exactly what I'm going to do. No thinking. Because that last cup, my honey guy taught me this, because he is the honey farmer. And we just have so much of nature today. We just have so many beings that are just here with us, it feels right now, that just want to make themselves known, that, they're all, wow, there's some emotion there, that they're all here supporting you and cheering you on in this time of your growing pains, in this space of stepping more and more into this new, more empowered, more assured of who you are, you. And so the honeybees, right? The honey, I get local, pure, fresh, straight from the honey beekeeper honey in mason jars. And he told me the best thing to do is when you have that honey left in the jar, you make your cup of tea, and then you put it in the jar, and then it soaks in all of the honey that's left in the jar. And never in my life have I ever finished a single jar of honey until these jars of honey. And when you find something like that, goddess, allow yourself, when it's something that, like honey isn't processed sugar, right? When it's something that's actually from nature, that's beneficial to you, allow yourself, right? Allow yourself that abundance from nature. Allow yourself to receive the love just like you did as a child. There was this aliveness, this connectedness that was always there, just waiting for us to be in it. That is what the innocence feels like, that wonderment and awe, being fully here and now and relaxed of the adulting obligations, relaxed of the limitations and obligations that, and the stress and the drama and the chaos of what this world seems to be so much. Close your eyes with me for a moment, goddess. And imagine that you are actually walking barefoot in a field, a soft field of grass that has even strands that can reach all the way up to where your hands can touch as you walk along. And there's a gentle breeze that's just ever so lightly caressing your skin. And the sun, the warmth of the sun is just enough that it reminds you of a warm blanket out of the dryer. And the squirrels, aren't they adorable? They're so adorable. And the rabbits, and the baby rabbits you can see. They're all over by the creek. That's just a light stream. And yes, you can put your feet in that water. And let all the rest of the worries just wash away downstream and be cleansed. Allow for yourself to go to where it feels free. And with that, you can come on back. Thanks for coming with me out into the stream. Among the forest, the trees, which of course I didn't quite mention. That's all good, right? 'Cause you felt it. You feel the strength within you to let all of this go, to navigate these growing pains with ease, to acknowledge that on the bad days, they're not really bad days. Maybe you call them purge days instead, cleansing days, healing days, strengthening days, empowerment experiences days. I like that, right? Here forward we shall call them strengthening days, or purging days, or healing days. We don't have bad days around here, do we, Goddess? Let me have a show of hands in the comments for those who are with me in accountability on this, that no more bad days. We don't have bad days. We don't support others in believing that they have bad days, because that's not a very empowering belief, right? We say, hey, wait. Let's call them this instead. And that shift in perspective just brings you that much more back to you and into your power and into that ability to open yourself up to then experience the wonderment and awe of your experience through these empowerment experiences, right? Because the reclamation of your power is really, in essence, in truth, you coming back home to you, all of you, integrating all of you. Where is our power of surrender at this time? Yes, we know growing pains. They're everywhere. They're within in our individual lives. They're within the collective. Wow. That's all I'm going to say. Wow. Surrender fear. Fear is the antithesis to wonderment and awe. You can't be open and receptive of the unknown when you fear the unknown. And it is only in the unknown that we really truly experience the wonderment and awe, because it is the unknown of the present moment through presence. That's why we're changing any perspective of calling them bad days, whether externally or internally in our own minds, right? It's the healing days, it's the strength training days. They're the empowerment, the days of empowerment experiences where I'm looking for and finding my power on those days. They are the perceived valleys of the self-love empowerment journey, where you look for and find your power so you can then make it to the top of the next mountain with so much greater ease, because you have so much more power than you did the mountain before. And you stand up top of that mountain and you get to see how far you've come, all you've achieved, all you've overcome. It's amazing what perspective shifts can do, and that really is truly the greatest way to look for and, of course, find our power. Simply to just shift perspectives. And that's definitely something I love to do with my goddesses, with clients that I get to work with. And so with that, I have opened up extra hours on my calendar for availability for 30-minute video sessions. So we can, together, look for and find your power. This too shall pass, Goddess. Remember, these are just growing pains. Just growing pains. Keep showing up, knowing that you are so needed. And all you have to do is show up. Well, Goddess, I could not resist. I have to tell you. Because just exactly as I was divinely guided to say it would be, the lizard / gecko, because the gecko is basically a little lizard, right? For the most part. It was indeed such a surprise and delight of wonderment and awe to read through all the alignments that match up with today's Super Sign Sunday for the Divine Feminine Energy reading and empowerment message. Just hear me. Lizard spiritual meaning is about resilience, to keep going, keep showing up, and pressing on, faithfully following the flow. It represents healing and growth, opportunity for new beginnings. It's about shedding old habits and behaviors that no longer serve you, like we talked about the growing pains, right? Letting those go. Letting go, finally, of what doesn't serve you. And that's where the pain comes in, right? Because it's so challenging to break that habit, right? And to become the version of yourself that isn't sabotaging yourself all the time, right? So that is this transformation symbolism from the lizard. Breaking cycles and fresh perspectives. We talked about every single one of these so far in the message and how it correlates to the wonderment and awe of this new beginning, and seeing it as though you are seeing it through the eyes of a child now, because it's a new beginning. It's a symbol of your fear and anxiety. It represents fears about facing change. And this is literally our surrender card, is fear. It's about knowing that this setback, whatever perceived setback, right? It's being mindful of the words here. Whatever perceived setback where you find yourself, it's only temporary, because here's the thing, whatever you might consider it a setback, Goddess, it's actually all part of the journey. It's only in your mind and your ego mind that you're like, oh, it's a setback, but really actually from the soul perspective, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. There is no setback. You're right on time. You see that? You're right on time. So when you can really allow yourself to focus where that power is, where you do have power, not on that it's a setback, that's what's going to shift you out of that fear space and just allow you to be more present and be more anchored in the knowing that I am where I am and I am exactly where I am supposed to be. Because if I were supposed to be anywhere other than where I am, I would be. Write that down. All right. And there's an exciting opportunity ahead. That's the lizard messenger. Well, of course there's an exciting opportunity ahead. You're a whole new you. You have a whole new world to experience from a whole new perspective, in a whole new energetic space, in a whole new, well, kind of for the lizard in some ways, right? It's that whole new body, right? You're in a whole new body. You have changed down to your very energetic core, to your cellular core. You're different. That's what this transformation is. And so we had talked about in this Super Sign Sunday about very much this inner child healing, being at the space where it's integrating, right, that inner child more, and at this point allowing that part of you to step forward and be present now more than ever with this new beginning space, because it carries a message meant to help us remember that as children of nature. And we had so much nature, from honeybees to the lizards to the geckos. We were talking about, there was something else, the rabbits, that we took a little journey right through the forest a bit into through the meadow. It's like the open space of the meadow, right? And made our way to the creek. It was such a surprise little adventure, wasn't it? But the lizard is carrying this message meant to help us remember that as children of nature, we possess the magic within ourselves needed to live free and happy. And literally another channeled aspect from the Super Sign Sunday message is about being free, right? Because I am going to publish this lizard spiritual meeting clip separate, as well as attached to the divine feminine message here at the end. The lizard is also about reminding you that you have the power to regenerate anything that you've lost. It may come in a different form, right? In a different form, but you have the power to create something new that fulfills the same purpose, perchance better than before, right? Definitely in a different way than before, but that's what you're here for, to experience all that is this experience, to embrace it all with wonderment and awe. And then, of course, with lizards having that power to regenerate anything they feel they've lost, that's like magic, right? That's like magic. Again, reminding us of the magic that we possess. That is this gift of the lizard today. That's why that's the animal messenger out of all of the ones that we really had to, say, okay, what are you talking about? Right? And just as it is, it's just the sweetest surprise and delight right now of reading this, going, oh my goodness. And the lizard is an adapter, a fighter. Giving up is never an option. Look at the strength training that you have in the space of these growing pains, literally as a lizard, right? When you're referencing the spiritual journey, the self-love empowerment journey, to that of a lizard, of you shedding old and stepping into new. You've been doing it your whole life. It's just you really start to recognize it and notice it when you get older, because you've gotten farther and farther out of that state of magic, of wonderment and awe. So you instead are more in an energetic state of heaviness, of stress, of amplifying fear rather than amplifying fun. Right? And that's why we must be tapping into our inner child, is because we've got to be having this fun in order to further facilitate the ease of these growing pains, because they're going to happen. Just like children, right? We can watch as adults, we can see the growing pains that children go through when they are literally physically growing. Crying just because their body is growing. And there's nothing, they didn't get hurt or anything. They're just growing, a growth spurt, right? Hurting just for that. And that's what this is. In order to get to where you need to go in terms of your growth and expansion, you have to grow. You have to grow through it, which means you have to go through it. All right? But giving up, never an option. And you know how to handle the lizard energy represents knowing how to handle oneself in challenging situations. And that's what you are cultivating for yourself more and more is in these challenging situations, especially when it's the unknown, right? It is the unknown. When you can begin to keep this balance, keep your wits about you, so to speak, in whatever is coming at you, whatever is happening, then you have won. I'm hearing in the background of my mind, I don't know the whole poem, of course, but If by Rudyard Kipling. If by Rudyard Kipling. I will write that in the description for all of you. I'm hearing that, right? That if you can keep yourself, this is the overall summary of the message of that poem. It's from a father to a son. And if you can keep your wits about you, if you can keep your inner balance, your state of stability and strength about you, then whatever happens about outside of you, let it. It does not affect you. It does not have power over you. And you then are the one who, quote, wins by way of being fully empowered, being in your power, no longer at the mercy of what may be outside of you. That's what a challenge is, goddess. An opportunity for growth. Redefine some of the words that you use to be more empowering, and you will find that you feel more empowered. So again, a challenge is simply an opportunity for growth. You've got this. Keep showing up and to hear exactly as was intended, of not diving into the spiritual meaning of the lizard at the beginning of the empowerment message or energy reading. And instead, after it was all said and done, this was just absolutely incredible to have that experience and for it to be so spot on for today's message that, again, you have to go back and listen to it if you didn't catch the whole message. So with that, as I am here to do always and forever as I can, remind you that the power to achieve all that you desire to, goddess, the power of this transformation, power to keep showing up, all of it, it's all in your hands, because that power has always been inside you. Namaste.